Hello, good evening, everybody. Am I audible to you? Is the video clear? Can I get a reply on live chat box? Yes, very good. Yes. Okay, I think we're good to start. Akshay is asking, will this session be uploaded later as well? Akshay, yes, the session will be loaded on the same channel. You can watch it later as well. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. So many students, that's really nice. Okay, all right. Namaste, everybody. Hope you're doing good. Today we are here to meet for a special topic, something that has been concerning a lot of students who are writing examination November 21. So I thought, why not discuss all your queries? I had put this on Instagram channels. A lot of students me queries from 2 days. Try and cover maximum possible queries and doubts. Whatever questions you have, just keep it at the end. So let the YouTube live chat session, okay, let's give that some rest for first 30 minutes. Once we complete, once I complete whatever I have in my mind, I'll give you time to ask all your questions. Okay, before we start today's session, I'm here to make a quick announcement. I know most of the students who are watching classes have already attended my costing classes, either live physical batch or online mode. As you are aware, Yashas Academy tied up with An Academy for all online classes. So I will be starting CA Inter Cost Accounting batch start from 30th June. That is this month, 30th June. Yes, this Wednesday I'm starting a batch. It will be 100% English batch and it is a regular batch. All those students who are writing in November 21 and May 22 can join this batch. What do you get by joining the batch? All classes will be live, interactive. Those who have attended my class, you know very well. I will not let you relax. The class, we keep the chat box very, very busy. So all these are live classes. If you are not able to attend by any chance, you can even watch the recorded lectures later. Unlimited access will be provided. You have no restriction on number of views and watch it. Then multiple educators for all the subjects. So when you take subscription for 3 months or 6 months, you will get an access to watch all the classes, all the subjects. Okay, intermediate. Some students are saying there is an issue with audio. Okay, let me just check. Okay, can you please confirm, is my audio fine now? Quickly please on chat box, can you confirm, is my audio okay? Yes. All right. Okay, sorry, some students were complaining about the volume as well. I think even that is fine now. Okay, yes, let us continue. Now you will also have the doubt solving sessions once in a week. No doubt students will get access to ask doubts in the live chat box. We will also have special sessions on doubt clarification and we'll also have mock test papers. Yeah, and those students, those who are watching it now, if you have not attended my costing class, you can join it. Those who have already attended my costing class, definitely you can share this information with all your friends who are writing. Yeah. So those who want to join, let them use the code YESHAS, YESHAS, or YESHAS Live, YESHAS Live. Use these codes. They can get access to free classes. Also, they'll get discounts for paid classes. They can take the subscription. The details are available here. All these details will be uploaded once the session is done. You can check in the box as well. So please share this information with all your friends for writing in November 1 and May 2. Okay, with that, let us begin our today's session. Why are we all here? Sir, we are writing November 2020 exams. We have some challenges. That's the reason why we are here. What are the most commonly or frequently asked questions about an examination which is like 4 months, 5 months away from today? First, do we have enough time for both groups? I'm going to answer all these queries. How to prepare a study plan? We are in the month of June. Our exam is in the month of November. We need to make a plan well in advance, not be waiting till October, then break our head. How do we make our study plans? When should we start revision? Should we wait for all the classes to be over? Is it a good time to start revision now itself? A lot of students have this question. When I updated this on my Telegram and Instagram, many students said, sir, if we do revision now itself, then there is a chance we may forget before November. So everybody wants to do revision in last week, last month, and that's a big problem. Next, some students have this in their mind that they have not attended all classes live, and some of the recorded classes they have not watched. Those videos are pending, and these videos are pending from April, May, now few days of June. How do we fix this problem? Then comes the most important hot topic: which group? Both groups, one group, second group, which group is easy, which group is difficult, should I write only one group now? Most importantly, when should I take the decision? Should I take it in June itself when my exam is in November? These are some of the most commonly asked questions. Let us find out some answers the best I can give from my end the inputs to you. Can I get a quick reply on chat box? Are you all with me? Are we good to start? Yes. Right. Good. Do we have enough time for both groups? Some students, by looking at this slide, must be thinking, sir, slide is empty. Maybe you have sent a wrong file or you have uploaded the wrong PDF here. No, no, no. It is kept empty intentionally, because if everything is typed or printed here, then you will not pay attention to me. You will be looking more at the screen. First of all, do we have enough time for both groups? The answer is a big yes. Sir, what are you saying? We are in the month of June. Our exam is in November. We are talking about two groups, that is 8 papers. Do we have enough time, sir? Really? What are you saying? Please understand, most of you have started thinking about groups only after joining CA intermediate. In CA foundation, this thought never came to you. In PUC, they never gave you an option. The thought never came to you. In 10th or SSLC, you never had this group 1 3 languages, group 2 math, science and social. They never gave you an option in March, will you write first 3 papers, after July, 3 months later. If that option was given, even as an SSLC student, you would have selected that. Can I get a reply on chat box? Just only reply yes or no. All your questions will discuss at the end. In 10th standard, if they had given this option, you would have chosen this option. March will write 3 languages, and in July we will write math, science and social. Now the problem is, why do we have to think CA intermediate as group 1 and you have 8 papers, simple, full. Let this be registered in your mind that we have 8 papers. Accounts, advanced accounts. Why is it to be considered as two separate papers? It is accounts 1, accounts 2, simple. Accounts was a very vast subject. Therefore, they have divided that into accounts 1, accounts 2, simple. That's it. Cost accounting here, financial management here, law here, audit here. That's it. If you start attending classes for all 8 subjects, and if you start attending morning first session group 1, later group 2, audit, then FM, then costing, then tax, then EIS, you will never think about group 1 group. Right? I know in most of the places, one group is taken first. That group is done in class, either physical class or online. And then the group 2 starts. So automatically you start bifurcating CA intermediate course into group 1 and group 2. This bifurcation, according to me, itself is wrong. Many students who are watching this session are from foundation. In foundation, they never had this option. You just went and wrote all 4. Correct? That time you never said, oh, accounts is group 1 and economics or your logical reasoning paper, that is group 2, we will study 3 months later. You never did that. In PUC, in BCom, you never had this. Just because there is an option, you have started thinking about it. Do not think about 2 groups. Say whether we have enough time for CA inter exam. And the answer to the question already written is yes. Sir, how can you say yes? We are attending classes. Most of the students are attending in different places. Some students are doing self-study. Sir, we are not able to complete the study, forget revision, complete the study of 4-5 papers itself. We still have not seen group 2. Most of the students I know will start from group 1, subject 1. That too being accounts as the first paper, being our favorite paper, we always start with accounts as the first paper. Our regular batch students know very well our special love that we have towards accounts paper, correct? So we always start with first paper first, and then law, then costing, then taxes. It will go in that order. Please understand, you have not seen all papers yet, correct? Some of you are thinking, sir, group 1 has taken so much of time from whenever we started. From today, if we see same time, it will almost be September or October first week. How can we complete everything? Please understand, the time required for your study, the time required for your revision for group 2 is comparatively less when compared to group 1. Why am I saying this? Let us mark one theory paper as X. X means 1X. In group 1, law is a theory paper. Let me mark it as X. Okay, keep it as base value. Then your accounts is 2.5 times of that. I'm talking about the time required for a student to complete the notes, attend the classes. If you're attending classes, the time required there, it's more. Costing also is almost 2.5x. Tax also takes a lot of time. That too because you have DT, IDT, GST. So it takes in total a lot of. But on the other side, please observe in group 2, you have audit, which is a theory subject. You have EIS and SM, which is a theory subject. You have FM and ECO. In that, economics is a theory subject, which is for 40 marks. In FM also, 10 marks is theory. So it's about 50 marks theory, 50 marks practical. I'll still write it as 1.5x. Okay. And then advanced accounts, I agree, this can still be 2.5. Basically saying more time. Now if you see the total time required here, if this is 8.5x, this is 3.5 or 5.5x, which means the time required for revision of group 2 subjects is much less when compared to the time required for group 1. So do not worry too much about group 2. Take it from me, once you start attending classes, you yourself will realize what I am saying. the time required in class, the time required for your self study, the time required for your revision in group 2 will always be easier, will always be less, and subjects are also comparatively easy. You have studied accounts, is advanced accounting, so the base is ready. You have already completed accounts in foundation, accounts 1 in group 1, now advanced accounts, and most of the advanced accounts topics are extension of what you have studied in group. Okay, so those who are attending group 1 classes now, do not compare the time of group 1 with time of group 2. There is a big difference, and now you are in flow of attending classes. Please complete attending all classes. Correct? Sir, what if after attending all classes I decide not to write second group? I will come to that point little later. Now you are in a flow. You have understood costing. FM, you will find the connection. There is a very good connection between costing and FM. I always say in costing you do from sales till EBIT. From EBIT you go below. Correct? From EBIT you will go below in FM. Interest, taxes, preference dividend, equity dividend, earning per share, dividend per share. That is FM. So it's a kind of continuation. Accounts, advanced accounts, auditing is all about verification of account. There is a very, very good connection. And if you learn these things together, it will be much better. So as a student, if I am in the month of June, I have completed attending all classes of group 1 and I'm going to start group 2 say from 2-3 days or from a week from today. I should not be taking this past time taken as the basis to decide my group 2 time required. And all of you must, most of you know this, November, last year November exams got postponed, delayed, and in January some of you wrote. So you started itself little late. You started itself little late. So from that strike rate, if you come, as on today, even if you have attended all classes for one group, all 4 subjects, is still good. Is still good. And in next 2.5 months, if you can attend all group 2 classes, please understand that is still a good strike rate to face November exam. Now I know some students at this their mind, some students in fact sent it to me yesterday, sir, will November exam also get postponed? See, this is not something that's in our hand. Let's prepare to face it on November 1st. Let's do our study plan. Let's strategize everything, keeping November 1 as our target. In case there is a postponement, and if that is happening on November 15th, say exam is happening on 15th, fantastic. You always had a problem of time. Now you got a bonus from ICAI, 15 days extra. Do whatever you could not do, right? So do not make any plan based on an assumption that the exam will get postponed. Exam will happen on November 1st. Keep this in your mind. Remember, our accounts students always go by conservative principle. So November 1, let's be prepared. If it goes beyond November 1st, fantastic. What's the loss? There is no loss to us. Now, okay, sir, from today, 10 June 26th, 27th, from today till November 1st, how do I make a study? Please understand, you have entire July with you, entire August with you, September with you, October with you. And November students, be happy. July also has 31 days, August also has 31 days. You have 2 continuous months having 1 day extra. If you are a May attempt student, February will take your 2 days. You know this? So you don't know how blessed you are to be writing November exam. Till now, no one would have thought about this. Think about it. You have an extra day. July is also 31. August is also 31. Be happy now you have got 1 extra. First, take this total number of days that you have. Total number of days into total number of hours that you can devote for your studies. Now, when I say devote for your studies, this includes attending the classes, the ongoing classes or revision batches, whatever you are planning to, plus doing your study, doing your revision, correct? And if you are doing your BCom or any other degree, and if that exam is expected to come somewhere in between, that also your other academic activities include everything. And please ensure from July this number of days, that is say 120, 121, number of hours that you can study is no less than 9 to 10 hours, please. And I have included everything. If you're attending class for 5 hours, then you do revision for 5 hours also. That's fantastic. That is counted as 10 hours. I'm not saying in addition to class, I need 9 to 10 hours. You can easily do it. You can easily do it. Please understand your 24 hours after this session today. From 24 hours, you make a chart. What all are you doing in this 24 hours? You will easily find the balancing figure as 10 hours. Use it for studies. In this chart, you include your sleeping hours, your breakfast, dinner, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, everything. Now, IPL is also not going to disturb you, don't worry. World Test Championship is also over. There is no more disturbance. Please understand, this is a year where a student should turn this challenge of COVID-19 pandemic to an opportunity to use time. Why are we not understanding this? Nobody is going to invite you for any functions for next 3-4 months at least. Correct? Even if it is your neighbor, even they have restriction from government, they're not going to invite you. Correct? Even if you want to celebrate festival in your house, you're not going to invite too many people, you are not going to too many places. So in a way, you are saving a lot of time. Students don't recognize these things. Correct? And I know from today till November 1st, if you have so many days, minus those disturbances in between also. Suppose your family member is getting married, now you cannot miss that. Deduct those also. When I say 120, that if you want to deduct 1 or 2 or even 5, do that. Do that. We always deduct normal loss, correct? Do that. Then you take 9 to 10 hours a day, you will have so much, right? Suppose 120 days into 10 hours, I'm just showing you basic calculation. 1200 hours I have from today till November 1st. And understand, I've taken only July. June has 3 more days. That also is a bonus to you. 1200 hours, you divide this by total number of subjects, 8. Now you know how many hours you have per subject. Correct? In that, divide number of hours available per subject into each chapter in that subject. For example, when I do 1200 by 8, I am getting 150 hours. 150 hours. If I have already attended the class, for example, accounts 1, tax, law, costing, these classes you have already attended or you have already studied once, then you don't need 150 hours from today. Correct? Learning is over. It's only the revision. So reduce some time from accounts, reduce some time from costing, add that to your group 2 subject. Are you understand? So like this, the total 1200 hours should be planned. 1200 hours should be planned in this way. You can do one more. Sir, 1200 divided by 8, that will be 150 per subject. Into 4 subjects we are yet to attend classes. Say group 2 you are yet to attend classes. That means 150 into 4, 600 hours we have allotted for group 2. In that, classes may happen for say 350 hours. Classes of all 4 subjects, 350, 360, 380. That means balance hours is what you have for your own revision. And be happy. The subject that is very closer to November is much advantageous to you to do revision. Can I get a reply on chat box for this? If a class was done in March, say the first subject, for you now to do revision, when you open that book, everything looks like it's new. Everything looks like you're studying for the first time. But if you attend the class in July or in August you attend the subject, doing the revision in September or October will be much easy because our mind also works in FIFO basis, first in, first out. Whichever subject that you have attended first would have already gone out. So revising that will actually take more time. Right? Many students intentionally do this strategy that they keep their complicated subject at the end, so that is very near to their exam. For example, you are attending EIS and SM, Strategic Management, in the month of September. Don't worry. Your first round of study itself is a kind of revision also. September you attend EIS and SM, and October when you revise, you will take very less time to revise because you have the fresh memory of September, becomes very easy. My problem is the subject that you attended in April and May. When you open that book in September, that's a bigger challenge because there is 4 5 months of gap. People may not even remember what is activity based costing. Forget the problems, forget the adjustments. What is activity based costing? They may have to revise. Right? So do not worry that there are more classes nearer to exam. In fact, turn this into an opportunity. The more and more I study on the way to exam, it becomes that easy for me to. Is this point clear to everybody? Now you understood how to make a study plan, why you should not worry about the subjects that you are yet to attend. And some students have already joined for both the groups. You are in a flow, right? And the moment you stop attending group 2 class now itself, you will tend to be lazy. Lot of students tell me this, sir, when there is class in the morning at 7 a.m., I get up, get fresh, and start watching classes. But if there is no class, the previous night when I'm sleeping, I may make a plan that tomorrow morning I'll get up at 7, do revision, but because there is no class, I won't do revision. I'm lazy because there is nobody to check. There is no online class. If it is 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, if I start at 10 also, what is the problem? That means when you have excess time, when you have free time, you tend to waste it. You are already in a flow. In a day, 5 hours, your classes. Some students are attending 3 hours morning, 2 hours in the evening. You're already in a flow. Do not miss that. Let the discipline, that regular routine continue. Some places you might have attended one subject of group 1, one subject of group 2. You might be doing a mix and match. Then also no problem. Be in the flow. Continue attending all your classes. Right? I know students attend classes one day before exam also for last minute revision. 1 week before they want revision classes. That means students want more and more classes because that brings that seriousness. When there is no class, when it is self study, there is a tendency to take things very lightly. Next, when to start revision? I have checked the calendar today, and right now is the best day. Whatever I can check in the calendar, I have checked. Today is the best day. Yeah, I even consulted some experts. They also said today is the best day to start revision. Okay, so don't think too much. Today is the best day. Please start your revision. Some students wait for a special day to come. And I know a mistake that many students do. They think that we should wait for all classes to get over and then we'll start revision. I don't know who made this strategy. I don't know who made this strategy. I never suggest any student to wait for the classes to get over to start revision. If a subject is over, if a chapter is over, the next day itself it is due for revision. Please understand. Are you all following? The very next day that subject is due for revision. Accounts 1 is over. From next day itself you can start revision. You don't have to wait for all other subjects to get over to start accounts revision. Who gave you this plan? I don't understand. All subjects should be over, then only I'll start. No, that's not the right way. A subject is over, start revising. Now you are attending, say, group 2 classes. Group 1, you can start revising. Are you all understanding? So do not wait for a day to come where you are free from everything else. Then you will do your revision. That day will never come, understand. Even 5 days before exam, you will have one or the other thing happening. So start your revision from tomorrow itself. Tomorrow itself. Today also, as I told you after the class, today if you are free, start from first subject. Start from whichever subject you want to. As per your plan, I have told you, first make that total number of hours, total number of subjects, and then allot that time for each chapter, and then start your revision. Do not wait for September or October. Now, some students have this in their mind, sir, if I revise now itself, I'll forget. No, that's wrong. Please understand, you might have attended regular class in April. You might have attended regular class in April. And you are thinking, If I do my revision in July, I may forget. One student is repeatedly asking me about direct entry students. I will cover that also. Listen now. You have attended class in April. If you do revision in July, you think you will forget everything before November, and according to you, you will have to do full revision once again in October. So you are thinking July revision is waste. This is wrong. Please understand. Every revision that you do will reduce the burden. When you are doing the next revision, it will actually be very, very easy. So if you want your October month to be very good, very smooth, very comfortable, very relaxing, then do revision in July once. When you attend the class, you might have attended the class for say 140 hours in April. Costing example, accounts example. When you do revision, you may do the revision in 70 hours now. When you do it in October, take it from me, you can complete in 40 hours. This 40 hours is not because of this 140 hours. This 40 hours is happening because you have done a latest revision in 70 hours. So the memory is fresh. If you do not do anything in July, and if you wait for October to come for your revision, then this October, it won't be 70, it will be 80 easily. You know why? Because from July to October, there is another 3 to 4 months. You would have forgotten almost everything. Correct? So every revision will reduce your burden of the next revision. Please understand this. Don't think if you do revision in July, you will forget in November. That's a totally wrong understanding. You do revision in July, September revision will be much easier. You do revision in September, October revision will be much easier. You do revision in October, one day before your exam, will be much, much, much easier. I hope this is clear to every student. Can I get a quick reply on chat box? Why you should revise now? It is to reduce the burden, reduce the pressure, reduce the tension about the next revision. So every time you revise, we call it as learning curve. Every time you do the same thing again and again, the second time you will take less time than the first. Third time it is much easier. Fourth, much, much easier. But if you wait from one, directly you want to jump to four, that will never happen. I hope this is clear to all of you. I have one complaint about this. Yes, I have a complaint about this. Many students have this question in their mind, sir. We already have some pending videos we did not watch last month. How to manage those? First of all, why do you have pending videos? This is a complaint from my side. Why do you have a pending? Why did you not watch? Why did you not copy the notes already? Some students from May, from April, they have a pending video. If you say we are on say June 27th today, sir, June 23rd video, I did not attend class for some reason, that is still pending. 3-4 days I can still accept. Some students have pending videos from April, from May. Why? You have to work a little hard now itself. Do not keep pending videos. This is the biggest mistake that you guys are doing. Right, sir. Our fault. We have pending videos. Now, what should we do? Please make a plan today itself after the session as to how and when you are going to watch all these pending classes. Right. What do you mean by this, sir? Suppose student has 40 hours of pending videos. 40 hours of pending videos. Right. Now I told you at least 9 to 10 hours you can spend on academic activity, study, revision, classes. It's a punishment to you now. In addition to these 8 to 9 hours or 9 to 10 hours, you have to study another 2-3 hours and complete the pending videos. Don't say pending videos, if I do, that is part of my regular study. That is wrong. You have done a mistake by keeping these videos pending. Some students may not like what I am saying, but please understand. You cannot give these excuses to yourself. Can you write this in your answer sheet? That day in the month of May, this happened. Therefore, I did not study this video. That video still pending. Therefore, I don't know what is the formula for Halsey plan and Rowan plan in labor topic. No, you cannot. Whom are you giving these excuses? Sir, I have pending videos due to ABCD reason. Please no. Please no. Make a plan. 40 hours pending you have. Daily 2.5 to 3 hours you'll study. That means in next 15 days, 15 to 20 days, you are going to clean up all your pending videos. And this exercise should be done in addition to your regular study. Correct? That also you make a plan from 28th June, next 15 days, say 13th July, I am going to complete all my pending videos. And pending video number one, pending video number two, this also you make a plan. Write it on a paper and do that honestly from tomorrow itself. Make a plan today, do it from tomorrow. You cannot live with pending videos forever. April it was pending, May you should have watched. May month videos are pending, June at least you should have watched. Now June month also you have some pending videos. In July if you don't watch, then when will you watch this? I know some students watch pending videos 1.5 weeks, 10 days, 8 days before the exam, and that time they get new doubts. And your friends also will not pick your phone. That time, if you call them and say, I am watching it for the first time, I got some doubt. They have their own tension, they have their own work to do. So, pending videos is your biggest fault. If you guys have, please clean this mess. I am using the word very cautiously. This is a mess created by you. You did not watch it. It is pending from your end. You should have completed. You have to now complete this. Do not carry forward pending video balances beyond July 15th. Okay. Yes. Right. So the next thing, groups. How to take the decision, when to take the decision. Some students have already decided in the month of June itself. Some students in the month of May itself, they decided that they are going to write only one group. One, I said, first or second, their choice, they've already decided. This is wrong. You have to take this decision about writing, not attending classes. I've already cleared that. You have to attend class continuously, complete all classes. Complete all classes. Please do not skip your classes now, thinking that you will attend classes after November exam. In December, you will attend and institute postpones the exam. Then December also, you won't start. Don't get into that mess. You are in a flow. Please continue that flow. Be in that flow. There is a regular routine. There is a discipline. Let that continue. Attend all classes. Now, how to take this decision? Please understand. Some of you are talking to your friends and taking this decision. And that friend is as clueless as you. That friend is also attending inter classes for the first. That student is also writing November attempt for the first. That student also has the same doubt as you have, and you are taking his or her opinion. That friend is taking his or her opinion, advice from some other friend. Among friends, when you discuss, what is the extra value addition that you're expecting? Your friend is just like you. Are you talking to someone who has cleared intermediate? No. Are you talking to your faculties? No. Are you talking to someone who took both groups and faced some challenges? No. You're talking to your friend who is as good or as bad as you. Correct? And is that a correct way of taking decisions? The answer is big, big no. Right? Your friend can give you inputs based on his or her strength and correct. If a friend says that he can do both groups, that doesn't mean you can also do both groups. If a friend says that he is writing only one group, you should also not write only one group. He is writing one group based on his strength, his weakness, his circumstances. He may have some other personal work, some family problem. He may be undergoing some issue which you may not even know. He won't tell you all that. He will only say, I have decided to write only one group. And then you also start thinking, okay, he's also writing one group. Let me call one more friend. He also says, I think only one group. I think only one group. This is the most commonly discussed phrase. in the month of June, July between two CA Inter students? I think only one group. Everybody is giving their opinion, their advices, their experience. Right? You have your own strength, you have your own weakness. Right? No one is perfect, accept. Someone may find group 2 subjects much easier than group 1. So they may say, I am writing all 8 papers. Don't even talk about group 1, group 2. I am writing all 8, I am writing CA Inter, simple. There are a lot of students who clear because of the set of, you know what is set of adjustments? You have to score 40 marks in every paper and average should be 50 marks, correct? Which means if a student scores 40 each in group 1, his total in group 1 is 160, correct? Average for one group is 50%, that means 200 marks, right? So he is 40 marks below 200 marks. But in group 2, if he scores say 60, 60, 50, 40, okay, I'm just taking some numbers. 50, say one more number, or okay, let's not take the worst case scenario. Assume you're scoring 50, 50 here. Now, if you just add all of this, you may not get 200. But if you add all of this, you may get more than 400. You may get more than 400. So this is the advantage when you write two groups. Right? So you may be weak in one subject, you may be weak in another subject, but you may be extremely strong in some subject, and all these may not happen in single group. In one group, you have a weak subject, another group, you have your favorite subject. So where you are weak, you may score 41, where you are strong, if you score 71, on an average, you will get 50% in total. Imagine if you write only group 1. Think of this. A student writes only one group and he scores 40, 40, 50, 50. The total is now what? 180. You have written only one group and you score 180. It will be counted as fail. Correct? But suppose if this number is coming to say 230. I'm just taking an example. Later don't message me, sir, your total was wrong. Anyway, 230, then 180 plus 230 will come to 410. Understand, it will be considered as both groups pass. Very important. I hope most of you know this. If not, I have just now explained. This set of adjustment is available to you only if you write both groups. And I know lot of very good students, just because of this fear factor in mind that someone told them that both groups cannot be written, they take a decision of writing only one. I always have a complaint about these kind of students who are actually very good. I know some of them personally, they're very good, but because their friend said no, let's not write both groups, these students also take a decision of not writing both the groups. This is wrong. Do not take your decision based on what your friend says. You have your own favorite papers, your strength areas, your weak areas. The set of adjustment can help you. Last attempt also, many students got 185 here, 245 there, together 430, 440 marks. And they say, sir, thank you for that one advice of set off. I was not in a mood to write. I wrote it. Then now I have total 400 plus, both groups are done. So please do not do this mistake of discussing with your friends. You want to discuss with someone who has cleared both groups of it. Talk to someone who's doing final, ask them what to do for inter, or talk to your faculties, take their help. That's a good source of input, but not your friend who is also writing it the first time. Second, when to take this decision? When to take this decision? Definitely not on June 27th. This is too early for you to decide. You have not even seen all 8 papers. Guys, please understand. Some of you have attended classes for 4 subjects, some of you 5 subjects, some of you maybe little more than 5, 6th subject ongoing. Even then, you have still not seen full syllabus. Correct? So, very important thing, you don't even know the syllabus. How can you take a decision about that subject itself? that I will not write group 2. And do you know what all you have in group 2? No, I don't know what is there in group 2, but I have decided I will not write group 2. How is this a valid way of taking? Correct? Take it from me, once you attend group 2 classes, once you learn or study entire group 2, you will start finding group 2 much easier than group 1. You message me once this is all done. Once you attend all group 2 classes, you will realize that group 2 is much easier for studies, for revision than group 1. Then you will say, sir, I think I should not worry too much about one group, second group. Second group can be my strength now because these are much easier subjects. And understand, wherever you have more theory subjects, you have MCQs. Audit has MCQ, EIS SM has MCQ, and these two theory subjects are there in group 2. Economics is theory, you don't have MCQs there, but most of the questions are 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks questions. They're easy to crack. So group 2 will be much easier. Don't worry too much about when to take this decision. I would suggest after attending all subjects, after attending all subjects, 1 month before your examination or 45 days before your examination, you will be in a better position to take a very informed decision. Taking decision now without even knowing about the subject is totally wrong. Take this decision 1 month before exam or 45 days before exam. Suppose you take this decision on 1st October that I have seen all 8 papers, I have understood all 8 papers, I don't think I can write both groups. Then last 1 month, focus only on group 1. Do not take a decision now itself. Then you will be underutilizing yourself. Imagine if a student has completed group 1 classes and about to start group 2 from July 1st and decides now itself not to write group 2. He will have entire July, August, September, October, 4 months only for 4 subjects. Right? You know what that student will do? He will start relaxing from 1st July. Anyway, exam is 4 months away. I am anyway writing just 4 papers. I can start revision little late. So he will start underutilizing himself. He will start relaxing. Instead of studying for 9 or 10 hours, he'll start studying only 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours because he thinks he anyway has so much of time. And I know what is there in your mind. Sir, 4 looks very less, but 8 looks too much. You don't have an option to write 6 papers, by the way. Correct? So it's either 4 or 8. When to take the decision? Definitely not. If you are attending classes, please complete the classes. If you are doing self-study, you are in the mid of audit, you are in the mid of EIS, SM, please continue. 45 days before or 1 month before, I would say 1 month before, take a decision. After that, last 25-30 days, focus on whatever decision you have taken. Clear? Now, few more things before I go to your question and answers. I want all of you to understand this year has been a challenge, a special challenge to all students. Special challenge to all students. You are learning in a new way. You are not allowed to live the way you used to in the past, not meeting your friends. It's little boring also to be at home and watch classes. Natural. Suddenly, when you are forced to be inside, it happens with everybody. But understand, on the other side, this is the year where you have no disturbance, no events, no functions. No one is asking you to come and do any extra work. Correct? They say you wherever you are, be safe. That's all. Where you are at home with your books. Convert this challenge into opportunity. You have very less disturbances for next 4-5 months. No functions, no events. I'm repeating it again and again because I want you to understand how advantageous it is to a student when there is no disturbance around. This is the year of no disturbance. Please make the best use of it. Second, this is the time to use all your energy. When the regular classes were happening in February, March, when I asked some students, are you doing revision now itself? Are you studying little 1 hour extra every day? They say, no, sir, we are not studying extra. We are only attending classes now. Why? Sir, we want to keep all our energy reserved for July, September, October. We keep reserves and surplus for future consumption, sir. In accounts we do, in real life also we do. all your energy, bring it to your CA intermediate studies and revision. Priority should be set properly. Priority number one should be CA intermediate. Everything else can take backseat. From today till your examination, your priority number one should be only and only CA intermediate. Anything other than that, you are underutilizing your. You have the ability to work much more than what you are doing. If you are not so happy sitting in the same place, change the place, but ensure that the study is not compromised, number of hours is not reduced, your focus is not getting diverted. Please ensure that your best of your energy is used for next 4 months. Everybody has excuses. I also know. Lot of us have lot of excuses why we cannot do, why we cannot study. Sir, my BCom exam may come. Sir, what if I fall sick? Correct? What if I'm not very happy with my revision? What if I'm forgetting things again and again? All of us have hundreds of excuses. Even I have excuses. You also have excuses. Everybody has an excuse. But all of you, please remember, November examination, nobody is going to listen to your excuses. By listing out excuses at the beginning of your answer sheet, you will not be scoring extra marks. Evaluator will not show pity. Oh, so much of excuses. Despite of that, he has written exam. Let me give extra marks. Nobody is going to listen to any of your excuses. Understanding? Most of you, I think, saw on social media a few months back. There was a student who was admitted in hospital. I think it was in March or he was in hospital and he was studying for his CA exam. I hope most of you saw this. If not, I'll find out and share it on my Instagram profile today. Now look at the dedication level. He could have easily given that excuse, sir, this time I'm in hospital. What are you talking? I can't study. It's okay, I will take an exam 6 months later. He did not say that. Correct? So all your excuses are very, 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 very small compared to the strengths, the energy. Bring that onto the table now. This is the time to show your best. Understanding, no more excuses. Priority list, whatever is the priority list as of now, bring CA inter exam preparation as the first item for priority list. Friends, be very choosy for next few months. Some of your friends, I know, they add a lot of value. They bring some extra confidence in you. They give you good tips, right? They will solve your doubts. They are also as hungry as you to learn things, to grow in life. Spend more time with them for next. All other friends who are going to demotivate you, add more negative energy to you, bring your confidence level low. Please avoid all such. And those students who always have this complaint that, sir, I want to study, but whenever I talk to my friends, I'm getting scared. They always talk, this will happen, that will happen, why I cannot pass. They always have negative comment. Don't talk to them. Simple. Sir, they always call me, how to avoid. Don't pick up. You cannot stop rain, but you can always carry umbrella. Correct? All such negative inputs, let it rain. You carry an umbrella. Avoid all such people. You will always have one or two such friends who are always there to motivate you, to support you, to help you, to build confidence you when you're worried. Talk to them only. Choose such people and spend time only with them. Keep a positive state of mind. I keep telling this. There are two dogs. You know the story. There are two dogs in mind. One, the good dog, the bad dog. They always fight. Correct? In me, in you, everyone, we have positive attitude, energies, thought processes. Which dog will win the fight? The dog which gets more food. Right? If you keep giving more and more food to that negative energy dog, definitely that will be more successful. correct? That will bark loud, and that is what you keep hearing inside. If you take positive attitude inside, if you talk to people who give you positivity, you talk to people who encourage you to work more, that dog will be stronger and definitely that will win, right? It is about you. If you keep worrying, if you keep worrying, then worry is there all in your mind. But if you keep saying that my strengths are much more powerful than my weaknesses, then definitely the strengths will talk loud. Their voice is much louder than the weak voice. Then be happy. So you need to develop positives. Avoid everything that is negative, whether it is news, whether such friends, such relatives, such people around you who keep disturbing you. Avoid all of them. Next 4 months important to you, not to anyone else. So you should tell them that, sorry, boss, I cannot do this anymore. I have to focus. And all these small, small things matter a lot. Next one, I always keep saying in every session of mine, keep calm. Don't worry. There is always this fear factor in mind about exam. Tell me, reply on chat box. If a 10th standard student comes to you and if he or she says 10th is a very difficult exam, how will you react? You will laugh and say, correct, that 10th is one what exam? Our regular batch students know it's killer exam. Why are you worried? Correct? Ah, when you were in 10th, you were equally worried. You were equally scared about the 10th exam. But now it looks very easy, simple. Correct? Forget 10th. If a foundation, see a foundation student comes to you for advice, you say, what foundation? One easiest exam ever I have seen in my life. Come to inter, you will see what pressure we have. Every time you are doing something, you feel that is the most challenging path, that is the most challenging point in your life. But once that is done, you will start finding this also easy. When you are in CA final, you will say the same dialogue to inter student. Like, need to stay calm. Look, there is no advantage in worrying. There is no advantage. There is no extra marks allotted to you if you worry more. I know a lot of students. They worry thinking, what if I fail? They're not worried about how to prepare, how to study, how to do revision, how to do summary notes. They're not worried about these things. They're worried about one thing. What if I fail? You're worried about result and you're not worried about exam. That means one thing is clear. Nobody is scared of exam. Everyone is scared of result. Correct? Is result in your hand? No. Is preparation and good attempt in November, is it in your hand? Definitely yes. What is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario, I may fail all 8. That's all no. That's all correct. People have lost their lives. You have seen in last 1 year, people have lost their dear and dear ones. Correct? You know what all challenges, problems people are facing. In front of all that, we not clearing one exam is not even a big problem. Why are we so worried about result? You ask every student, sir, I'm worried. Worried about what? Exam or result? Sir, what if I fail? That means your worry is about result, not about exam. So no one is scared of exam. They're worried about the output of the exam. Channelize that to exam. Don't worry about result. Focus on the exam. Correct? And this is my personal experience. Your result is really not based on what you do in those 3 hours in exam hall. Your result is based on what you do 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days before the exam. And if you put your best 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days before the exam, even if your paper has gone average, you will still get good marks. Because I believe in this. Your marks card is not based on what you do in the marks card is based on what you have done before that. Correct? A team will win or lose a match not based on only how they perform in the match, totally based on how they have done net practice. Do your net practice. To do net practice, why are you tensed? To do revision, why are you worried? You are worried, what if we lose the match? That's the end result. That's the end result. Please understand. We are all alive, we are all healthy, we are able to move, talk. We have not lost anyone in our family. That itself is a blessing in this year. Failing an examination, worrying about the result is not even 5% what other challenges are there in this world. Right now, we are seeing all of that. In front of that, our examination, our result, we should not worry about it at all. Understand this. Three possibilities. I may pass all 8 papers. Okay, next step. Second possibility, I will pass one group. I may fail another group. Then also you can start articleship. One group you pass, that's enough for articleship. You write all 8. With set of advantage, you may clear. Huh? If you don't clear also, with one group pass, you can start articleship. Once you start articleship, the 3 years period of articleship will get completed. In the immediate next attempt, if you don't clear in November, in the May attempt, you can complete the other group. What if I don't complete? Then also, sir, no problem. Next one more November, articleship will. Why is there a worry? What is the third possibility? First possibility, both group clear. Second possibility, one clear and one not, I told you. What is the last possibility? All 8 I fail. That's all. Full stop. What is going to change in your life from the next day? Honestly, nothing. Correct? You will still be alive. Your parents will not disown you. They will still continue to support you. Correct? Even though they are disappointed in the past, you know this, even when they were disappointed because of your failure, they have always been supportive and they will continue to support you. When you are successful, they may celebrate only for say one day, but if you fail, they may not celebrate. Obviously they will support, and the support that you get is immense, immense. After that you will be much more powerful. Take the next attempt. What is the problem? Understanding this, there is nothing to lose if we fail. Understand, everybody has failed in one or the other place. Even the best cricketer in the world has scored zeros in most important matches. Most of the time best teams have lost, correct, and they've all come back. It's not about how many times you have failed, it's all about how many times you have come back and how many times you have fought. That is more important. On a lighter note, I read this somewhere, Instagram, student had shared. Why to worry? CS student have this in mind. Why to worry? Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. After every November, there is a May. Yeah, I know some students are clapping. Thank you so much for your claps. After every November, there is a May. Why to worry? Why are we so worried about the end result? Let's channelize all that into preparation. Right? Some will go well, result is the output, that's not in your hand. Don't worry so much. Fear is again a part of negative energy. I've told you already, keep that on. Now, before we go to some question and answers from your end about direct entry students, many direct entry students are watching this today. Sir, how should we study? Where is the time for us? Definitely, direct entry students have a time challenge. But if you use the available time properly, 2.5 hours in the morning before your office, 2.5 hours evening after your office, and use your Sundays productively. Anyway, you can't go around, roam around now. Use that time also well. You can comfortably write your November 21 exam. Only for direct entry students, I'm saying. Only for direct entry students. You need to talk about study leave. You might have already discussed with your bosses for your study leave. And if you get even 2 months of study leave before your November exam, you can still go ahead and prepare for both groups according to me. Yes. And again, I have told you when to take the decision about one group or two groups 1 month before exam. From now, don't deviate. You're attending classes, there is a routine discipline, continue that. 2.5 hours before office, 2.5 hours after office. And this you must continue. And those who are doing direct entry, those who are from direct entry, Understand, for you time is definitely a bigger challenge than other students, so you have to use your time productive. Sir, we are getting tired a lot. Yes, every CA student will undergo this. And those who are from foundation, please understand, as of now you may not have articleship. When you are in final, whether you are from foundation route or direct entry route, your final will go along with your articleship. So that time you will end up attending classes in the morning, going to office, come back, then again attend classes or do revision. So one or the other day every student will have to balance, correct, both articleship as well as studies. Some students will do it in final, direct entry students will have to do it from now itself. So attend all the classes, continue doing two and a half before and after articleship hours. Do not leave that all till September end October. Based on the number of days, number of weeks of holiday that you have got from your bosses in your office, you take a decision. Should we take decision now? Again, my answer is no. Okay. Now, open to you. If you have any questions to ask, you can send it on live chat. I have kept another device. I'll read your doubts and then I'll try to answer whatever best can. Please give more tips as how to manage time during articles. Please understand, if you have little less work in the office, less work in the office, you have all your study material soft copies now wherever you have attended classes, or you have the study materials with you in the office. When you know there is less work, instead of wasting time on all other things, make it a habit to spend some time on studies there also. I know not all 12 months will be extremely busy. You have soft copies available now. I say study material is also available on website. You can start highlighting the PDFs. When you have less work, use there also, use that time also productively. With respect to studies, every day you have to study continuously, 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours before and after the office. That is the only way. There is no other way. Then, sir, will I get into Big Four if I start doing articleship after Group 1? Ragashri, this depends. I do not have a one line answer to this. Some offices prefer, some Big Four firms prefer both groups. Yeah. So if you are really planning for Big Four articleship, then my suggestion is give a try for both group one shot. Don't take a risk of writing only one and clearing and then hoping that one of them would accept you. Instead, be prepared with both, write both, clear both, then you have a greater chance of getting selected. Bhuvan says, sir, there are few subjects where we have MCQs for section A. So, what my question is, will there be a negative marking? Bhuvan, I think you know about it. There is no negative marking in CA Inter in multiple choice question. Correct? Manoj has a question, sir. What activities should we do? What activity should we do in free time to equip ourselves to articleship? Manoj, if you are doing articleship along with CA Intermediate, my advice to you is, if you have free time in office, use it for academic purpose. In addition to that, if you want to learn, improve your computer skills, lot of online classes are available. Improve your English. Everybody, this is an advice to everybody. Yeah. Improve your English, work on computer skills, and read whatever that is helpful to your office. You are doing tax audit there, then read about tax audits. Lot of ICA has lot of seminars only on tax audit, which you're doing in the office. There are a lot of books available that is also there on the ICA website. Read that. That will help you both in academics as well as in office. Okay. Netra says, thank you so much. I've got some idea. Yes, good, Netra. Aparna says, can you explain the concept of exemption? Okay, exemption works this way. Suppose if you write group 1 example, So paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. Suppose if you score 40, 35, 35 and say 61. Now total may be less than 200. So basically as a group, your result will be correct. So fail. However, next time when you write your exam once again, you do not have to write this paper where you have scored more than 60. That is your paper 4. This is considered as exempted. Yes. So when you get the result, it will come as FXEX, that is failed with an exemption. So next time when you write, you need to take up only 3 papers. What if sir I get 65, 65 and 10 and 10? Then also understand in total it's a fail. However, 2 subjects you have the exemption. 3 subjects also you may get exemption if you get 70 and 10. There is nothing called 4 subject exemption. In that case, you would have anyway cleared the entire book. Right? This is what I am saying. When you write both groups, one group you may clear comfortably, another group you may at least get one exemption. When a student says I will not write second group at all, they are missing out this opportunity. If you write all 8 papers, one group you clear, another you fail, in that 2 papers you have done really well, you may get 61, 61. Good. No, one group is fully done, another group 2 papers are done. Next, what is balance for you? Only 2 papers. This is the advantage of taking all 8 papers. So you may clear group 1, you may not clear group 2, but you may get exemptions in 1 or 2 papers. Good. To that extent, burden is reduced to your next attempt. What else? Sir, can we practice RTP and MTP in last 2 months before exam? Definitely, Manjunath, you can. You can. I would suggest whenever you complete a topic, immediately go to RTP, search which question has, which RTP, which question is connected to that topic, do it. Most of the students who have attended my class, they know this. In the class itself, once I complete my chapter, I immediately go to the RTP or question paper, and any questions related to that topic, we do the same day. So in a way, I complete my class material, I complete RTP questions, MTP questions, and also question paper problems. So with that, my full topic from all angles, I am ready. Not just my class material, even RTP, MTP should get over along with regular studies. Plan this way. Instead of keeping everything for last, if you're studying hire purchase chapter today, immediately go to latest RTP, see the question which is related to hire purchase. If it is similar to the one that you have done, leave it. New question, tough question, do it. Pavarni says, I was extremely confused in these couple of days. Thank you so much. Now I am clear. Good, Harini. Okay, sir, what if our luck is bad that we pass 2 papers in each of the group? Here, if you pass above 60, 2 papers here, 2 papers here. If you pass with more than 60, then also understand. 2 and 2, 4 papers you have exemption. In the next attempt, you have to write 2 papers in first group, 2 papers in second group. Please understand, guys. I know this is one valid question. Many people have this in mind. Just use this place. They say, sir, I will write only one group. Why? What if I write both groups and if I write both groups and I get good marks in 2 subjects here and bad marks in 2 subjects and bad here too, good here too. Then what will happen? If the good marks that you are saying, if you try well and score 60 above, now these two are done. In the next attempt, you have to do only balance to this and this. Correct? Sir, that will be counted as 2 attempts. Perfect. 2 attempts. First attempt, you cleared exemption 2 papers in one group and failed. Another group, you cleared with exemption in 2 papers and failed. Imagine if you write only one group. Even if you pass that group, again to say that I am done with CA intermediate, you have to write second group. Second group will be in your next attempt. say May. That also you may clear. Even then understand this will be considered as two different attempts. Some students are under this wrong notion that if they write group 1 in November, clear it, group 2 in May, clear it, they can go and tell that I cleared CA intermediate in single attempt. No, that will be counted as two different attempts. First attempt in November, second attempt in May. So anyway you are prepared to write twice. So why not write all 8 and clear any one group where you are too good at? In the other group, at least try to get an exemption in the paper where you are good at. Then balance 2 or 3 papers, write in the next attempt. Anyway, you are prepared to write 2 attempts. I hope this will make lot of students to think about it or rethink about their strategies. So even if you write group 1 in November, group 2 in May, it is still counted as two different attempts. Yes. Hmm. Sir, should we also look into ICI material? Praveen is asking. Praveen, if you have already attended class, you will have one class material for which you have the solution written. ICI study material also you have to go through. If those questions are similar, easy, doable, or same as what is there in your class material, don't waste your time again. But in ICI study material, there are 8 questions in contract costing. Example, 7 questions are similar to what you have done in class or easier than those questions. Then leave those 7. Tick that it is done. That extra one question, which is little different, difficult, that only you solve, that only you practice. When I say you have to complete study material, doesn't mean I want you to redo everything again. Easy, simple, doable questions, leave it. Tough, new, complicated, work out. Yes. Sir, is it necessary to complete full syllabus or can we skip some chapters? Harshit, please, no, don't do this. Please don't do selective study. Guys, you never know. From a very small topic, they may ask a 10 or 15 marks question. From a very, very big topic, which according to you is important. Big is not always important. They may ask question only for 5 marks. Happens many times, many times. Some of the small topics, they pick up a 10 marks question, right? For example, in costing, batch costing looks very small. They have asked a 10 marks question, batch costing, latest recent attempt. So there is nothing like, small topic, big topic. Important, unimportant is not based on how many pages you have in your book. I know in accounts this happens, partnership, company accounts looks too much. Those topics like profit prior to incorporation and these small topics, accounting standard, some students think this is small. You don't know. Accounting standard is as important as any other topic. In costing, batch costing is as important as any other topic. You think overhead is a big topic, activity based costing is equally important. So don't do selective study. Okay, what else? Sir, when will you start classes on Unacademy? When will it start? Exact date? Deepthi, I think I answered this at the very beginning. 30th June I am starting costing. 30th June, that is Wednesday, I am starting costing. If you want to attend all classes, then you can take 6 month subscription maybe. Then you will get the timetable. Once I start with costing, other subjects also will start one by one. You can start attending. If you want only costing, then take only 3 month subscription. June 30, so you can keep June aside. July and August, my classes will get over, costing classes on September. I may do some revision and that also. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Our answer should be, Shreya has a question, sir. Should our answer be exactly the way it is in ICI material, especially for theory subject? Is it acceptable if we write using our own words? Technical words, you have to write it as it is in the book. Okay. The explanation can be using your own words. Technical terms you can't alter. Correct? Example, company law, company definition, perpetual succession, common seal. Correct? These are some important terms they will look. Those terms should be there in your answer. Correct? If they say write a short notes on escalation claim in contract costing, inflation you have to write, correct? In addition to that, your explanation can be using your own words, but keywords are very, very important. Don't play with the keywords. Keywords you have to write as it is given in the book. Yes. Next, about ICA study material, I can see 3, 4 more questions. Guys, please understand. Whichever class you have attended, ICI has given a material to you, correct? I'm not asking every student to read line by line, word by word. Practical subjects, I can speak about my subject in costing FM, work out all the problems. Theory, you don't have to study line by line, word by word. That I've already explained in the class, or wherever you have attended the class, that faculty would have explained the concepts to you, right? Problems only I am saying. And if you don't have time, what you can do with ICA study material, end of every chapter, you have couple of questions, practice questions. At least that you complete before you go to exam. At least that you must complete. Next, is there anything else? Sir, is it too late to decide now to write both groups for direct entry students? Soundarya, definitely not. I've told you. This is not a time for you to decide. June is not the time for you to decide. If you're attending classes, please continue. Complete all your classes. Yeah. 1 month or 45 days before exam, you yourself will be able to get the answer to your doubt, whether you can write or not. And if you ask me, if you're thinking on June 27th, you can definitely take both groups in. Sir, if I write, Meghana as a question, sir, if I write both groups and get 200 in group 1 and in aggregate but not in group 2, will that be considered as group 1? Yes. If you get 200 in group 1 with 40 marks above in all group 1 paper, and even if you get 155 in group 2 result will be failed, but group 1 you have cleared. See, the rule is this: 40 for each paper, 50 average. So you write both groups, then also they will check in group 1 have you crossed 200. Yeah? Group 2 you have not. Group 1 they will say okay, pass. Group 2, no, it's not pass, you have to write it again. If you score 200 and 135, don't worry, 200 is done. Only 135, the second group, you'll have to write again. Ram says, sir, I have not completed with my classes yet. Group 1 is almost done. Group 2 still to start. I'm a direct entry student. How do I manage studies of Group 1, Group 2 classes? Ram, I think I've answered this question. Time is a challenge. If you're a direct entry student, time is a challenge. But don't take the decision now. You're attending the class. There is that 5 hours of good study time every day. Please keep that going. Don't deviate yourself. Please keep that going. Attend the class. What may happen after attending group 2 classes? Worst case, you may decide not to write group. Then also, group 1 you will write in November. Immediately after November exam, say November 20th onwards, you start revising your group 2. Anyway, you have already attended the class. From November 20 till May 1st, you have time for group 2 studies. And if you have already attended the class, you will have the class material with you, you will have your notes written with you. You can easily start doing revision. The mistake many students will do now is they will not attend group 2 class now. And they will waste a bit of time now. And after November 20, they will then start searching for group 2 classes. And then they think, why to search now? Let the result come. The result will come in January or February. And in February, if you start attending group 2 classes, when will you complete group 2 classes? And that time also from February, you have only 3 months. So when you are in a flow, do not discontinue the classes. Please complete all the classes. Have your text, have your notebook ready. You may take a decision 15 or 20 days or a month before exam not to write a group, no problem. After your November exam, from December 1st, when you want to do revision, your content is ready. You've already watched all your classes, correct? It becomes very easy. If you start attending group 2 only from December, January, then again for the month of May, things will be very, very tight. Again classes will go till April, and then you will say, sir, how can I write? I have not revised anything. My class only got over in April, sir. How can I write group 2 paper in May? So don't do this. Complete the classes now. Books will be with you any day, any time. Your own handwritten notes, when you open it, it will be very comfortable for you to revise. Meghna says, thank you so much. It was a great and worthy session. Thanks, Meghna. Manjunath has a question: how to avoid getting demotivated during studies? Manjunath, you cannot expect others to motivate you every day. Understand practically, right? When somebody gives you some energy, some motivation, that energy will be there for 5 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. I know after today's session, lot of students will make lot of study plans, correct? Will I be coming and telling you this every day, tomorrow, day after? No, correct? You need to be charged all the time, right? This these kind of sessions will help you to clarify doubts and will help you to rethink your studies and plans. But we won't be doing this every day. Understand the purpose why you have started doing CA course. That itself is your motive. That's all. You have started CA for a purpose. That purpose is your motivation. Why do you want to become CA? Write it on a paper, paste it in the study room, read that. That itself is a motivation. Every day you cannot expect somebody to come and tell you why you should study. You need to be charged up. Once in a while, attending these kind of sessions will fresh up your mind. But tomorrow, I know my session will be of great use for next 6 hours. Tomorrow morning, if you don't get up early and study, then there is no use of attending my session. Correct? You need to be charged up. You need to think positive. You know why you have started this course. That itself is the reason why you should get up early. Okay. All right. I think. Okay. I'll take one last question, guys, if I'm not able to, because our session was planned for 1 hour. It's already 5:30. We have spent half hours. I'll take one last question. Harshit has sent, sir, minimum how many subjects should we study every day? Harshit, this is quite subjective. Okay. If I am a student, I would always mix two subjects, one practical, one theory. So when I am feeling sleepy, I would pick up practical subjects. When I am fully charged up, I will study theory. I will not do other way around. This is one more mistake that many students do. When they are fully charged up, fully energized, that time they pick up practical subjects or their favorite subject. That is already your favorite subject. That is a practical subject. You will anyway do. Even if you are feeling sleepy, you will do that. So why do you take up such subjects when you are already charged? So when you are charged, select that area where you are weak. Select those subjects which are little boring to you. Correct? You are already charged. You are at your best performance. You will study that well. Later, when you are feeling bored, when you're feeling sleepy, take up your favorite paper. Because you love that subject, automatically you get more energy. Correct? Okay. Netra says, sir, thank you so much. Being a direct entry student, I always spend time on deciding upon the groups. Netra, I hope I have answered most of your way. Okay, yes. Right, guys. Thank you so much. Our plan was to do 1 hour class, but because you guys had a lot of questions, I extended it by 30 minutes. Already 5:30. Thank you so much for joining this special session. We just decided it yesterday. Today we have so many students attending the class. I also felt really happy talking to all of you. Take care, study well. Do not worry so much. Yeah, this is an easy exam. You can do it. Every time you are facing an exam, these things are quite normal, and it's not happening only to you. Every student will undergo this phase. My seniors also went through this. I also went through this. Now you are also going through this. Someday you will also tell others that CA intermediate is easy. Okay, so relax, but ensure the focus is on CA intermediate, and this is the priority number one for next 4.5 months. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. And as I told you at the beginning, please share this information with your friends, those who want costing class my side for November attempt, if they have not attended the class already, they can join from June 30th, that is this Wednesday. Okay, and that's all. Thank you. We will be winding up the session. Take care. Bye bye.